Tai Allen, thank you so much.
What's up?
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the years and years of work and creative integrity that you've upheld yourself and the community to. Yes, I'm honored to be sitting on this couch speaking with you.
I'm honored to be. I had to keep my jacket on. You look too good.
Oh no,
I was
no,
like,
no.
Lord, let me catch up.
That's all right. You got the drip. You always have the drip. And I know you wanted to put your feet up so people can see them, but that's okay. We'll get there.
Everyone knows about that already. If you know me, you know I keep sneakers on deck.
You do. So we are here to speak about from arts to action,
right.
the intersections between creativity, between artistic expression and activism, and all the ways that life kind of slingshots us into those directions of arts and activism being two very full plates in our lives that we carry. I'm gonna let you speak a bit to the artistic side though on your own. I know you like to shy away from that attention and that content, but
it's a bad habit.
Just speak a bit about yourself as an artist, how you got here, the long journey that it's been. And
can I call me old?
I just think you've walked a long journey. Is all I'm saying.
You can't laugh at that either. They can hear you laughing calling me old. I've been an artist since I was 7, I think. 7 or 8. I wanted to be able to paint, but I sucked. Oh, wait, I gotta make sure I don't curse. I curse too much.
It's okay.
All right, good. That shit was crazy because I couldn't paint for shit. So I learned how to write and how to sing. So that became how I primarily expressed myself through art. And then as I got older, I went to a class, we call it gifted and talented class, that taught me how to use, how to create in architecture. So I realized, if I can't paint, I can use other tools to design. So designing, poetry and music became how I got my paintings in my head out. So since 7 or 8, I've been doing it as an amateur for professional since 20.
20?
Yeah. For a paid professional, it'll be 25 years next year.
25 years next year.
Which is crazy.
Paid professional. I'm trying to be like that. Gray beard and everything. I'm trying to be a paid professional for 25 years.
I meant to save this off, but I was running late, so I didn't want to get yelled at by you.
That's okay. So. Time is a construct that nobody asked for.
So I got here late, though. You would have constructed me upside the head. I knew that.
Yeah, we need you to be on time when we're in our realm, in our dimension. But otherwise,
fair enough.
Time is yours to create and dictate. Okay, so 25 years in the game as a paid
professional,
creative professional, artiste. Has activism always been a part of that? Has that always been the content and the context, or has
So it's funny. I finally come to grips with something this year. My family literally has been, no offense, fighting white folks since the slave ship. Literally. I don't really talk about it much until like last 4 weeks or so. My family is the family of the Roots document, of the Roots book. We're the Palmer family in America. So literally since that book, since Kunta Kinte, we've been like dealing with white people. My mother is part of the Brown Prince of Education. Sued my forefathers' 1871 convention. My dad and grandparents were UNIA. So we literally been dealing on the activist side our entire existence on this part of the continent, as part of the universe, excuse me. But art has also been part of it. My mom was a singer. My dad was Black liberation theologist and poet. My grandmother was a poet. My aunts were writers. So we've always found a way to combine art and activism. That's what my family, my kids do it. Anyone knows my daughter Sasha? She's part of Warriors in the Garden, but then she's also a supermodel. It's what we do. We find ways to combine our art and our cultural work and our social work into one because they're matched. One of my Babas, Amiri Baraka, says for Black people, art is activism. You can't avoid it.
Yeah.
You're going to talk about our existence in this part of the world. It's about struggle. Even falling in love is about struggle around here. So you can't avoid it.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to divert to your last comment of even love is about struggle out here.
Sure.
Why is that?
I mean, because we're building communities in a structure or a society that wasn't built for us. So you're trying to find a way to build your family, fall in love, have sex, be monogamous, polyamorous, whatever you want to be, interracial couples. If a rich white person and a rich black person got together, ain't nobody say nothing. But if interracial couple was poor, you have to, at one point the police, the courts, all against you. When you had the money to buy yourself out of it, you ran into some drama, but you might get accepted. Sidney Poitier probably got a couple of nigga jokes said at him, but who's gonna really bother Sidney Poitier because he had money? He was in a different kind of conversation.
Yeah.
While the loving family, who probably loved each other to death, had to go to court cases, and then attacks and death threats. So even falling in love can be a problem in a society.
Word. Very well put. And full spectrum, full picture for real. In terms of just putting some talking points and concrete images to this concept of systemic oppression and how it's all kind of just structured to be a certain way. I wanted to get back to the artist front. A lot of artists, their time as an artist is their personal time in life of coming to themselves.
Yeah, agreed.
Journeying towards themselves, learning more about themselves, and that reflection and, again, intersection of their experience versus, you know, their circumstances and their reality. A lot of artists spend a lot of their lives coming to this recognition and journeying towards their message or their purpose or something that's worthwhile. It seems like you were kind of born into that, or had an expedited kind of journey or trip to these revelations and messages that you're offering. Can you speak to that a bit?
I'm thinking about that because I think it's because I came from structure. I think too many artists are worried about the esoteric aspect of the art and not the concrete, logistical, and structural elements. It's hard to be an artist if you don't know why or how you finish that project. Because you're not an artist, you're just lucky. So you can't, it's like playing a sport. There are rules. The rules of football don't work in basketball. But then if you're good at football or basketball, you figure out how to make it art. So Michael Jordan and I both play basketball. I can dunk, I can shoot, but I can never create the poetry and motion and art that he did with the sport. Because he's just something extra. But it's within the rules. Yeah, of course, you know, this, you're gonna break some, you're gonna create your own, but you have to first understand the foundations of which then to be esoteric. So I think, for me, I know that all the art forms that I deal with had a really strong grounding in the basics of them, the tenets of them, the structure of them. So then now I can fuck around and create something like the book I have out now, or the new book coming out. The new book I have coming out in the spring is actually one big poem that looks like small poems that if you actually read it, the actual titles are a poem, and then without the titles of the poem, and even the chapter writing, it's like, but I knew the rules to fuck around and create some ridiculousness like this that no one's gonna catch unless you're a nerd, but I had enough grounding to understand that I can do this, and then make it something that's culturally relevant. So it's hard to be esoteric if you don't understand what you're actually playing in. I think that's sometimes that's missed. Too many artists worry about the feelings, but fuck your feelings, your shit don't make any sense.
So we sensitive about.
You'd be less sensitive if you knew what the hell you were doing.
That's facts.
Then it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, you don't like it? That's fine. This is why I did it. Or maybe shit might even suck.
Yeah.
It shit sucks sometimes. People like to hear that, but sometimes the shit does suck.
Do you think that recognition and coming to this space of knowing that is necessary to make that leap of art being your activism?
Nah. It helps though.
Yeah.
Because if you're not good, no one really cares about your activism.
But not even being good, just this.
You can't laugh at that, but it's true.
Just this recognition that, like, it might not always hit and resonate and be, you know, received in the way that it was created. Do you have to get past that to then be able to dabble in that realm of your art being the activism?
Oh no, it's a good question. I gotta think about that. I don't have an answer for that. I've always thought that if you're not good at it, it makes it difficult to actually make that leap. But some people are not good and then teach it and make that leap. But others just make the leap into activism, and then the art becomes secondary. And then people think they're good because, well, they're activists. And on the other side, too, some people are artists who are good and should not be activists. They should just be followers. But because they're good at the art, they think they can actually now go into another realm. That realm also takes training, takes information.
Yeah.
Because being an activist is an art form. It's a science, actually, one art form. So all these things require some grounding and basic intent to understand why you're in it, or it's just a waste of time. You're just kind of soapboxing. I don't like that too much.
I bet.
You've seen, yeah, you know that. You've heard me complain.
I bet. So
I can't believe this person. Like,
I know. So let's talk about that. We're gonna put artists on their soapbox, and we're gonna put activists on their soapbox, and we're gonna pretend they're leaping back and forth, and we're gonna talk about the many ways and directions that can go. Cause
yes, that's important. Of trying to take the advocacy to the next level. So
yeah,
I think each person's journey is different, but find someone who can mentor you in that. That's so important.
Yeah. How detrimental can it be if that relationship and synergy isn't concrete?
Trying to think of ways of saying it's not getting myself in trouble.
You get in trouble?
All the time.
Oh, okay.
And now that I'm actually back in the system, I gotta be careful when I say it. The detriments are that you can lead people astray. That's one. Two, you could be a distraction. Three, the worst, you can come into this without fulcrum. Because if you're moving without a fulcrum, then there's nothing for you to hold on to when stuff gets crazy. Because once you get into these higher places, like the government, like corporation, like nonprofit, especially a nonprofit over 5 or 10 million, if you don't have something to hold on to or people to hold on to you, you're going to start just wavering in the wind into a place you don't belong and think that is where I should be. And eventually you move away from what your actual purpose was. At that point, we're all fucked. We've seen it. How many times we heard the story of a politician who was progressive for the proletariat, and then one day they limousine liberals. And like,
yeah.
Wait, what happened to us?
How we get here?
They got a nice little house in Scarsdale, though. Not even in Brooklyn. They moved to Scarsdale. Like, wow, Brad was down with us, but now he's gone.
Yeah.
So we need no more of those.
Okay. So what makes it a good cross section?
Grounding, accountability. You have to be accountable to someone.
Grounding, accountability.
You have to be accountable to someone.
Accountability.
You have to be, seriously. And I stay around young people like you on purpose, and even my own children. Sometimes I can't always be right. I want to know what I don't know, and that keeps me accountable. I keep people around me telling me no. Or sometimes worse than no. Fuck out of here. Hell no. Why are you doing that? Who is this person? Why is that person? Don't take that money. I mean, hell, Andrew Yang's people offered me a bag. And I was like, I need a bigger bag. They were discussing with my team. They were like, there is no bag big enough to fuck with Andrew Yang. And they were right. Would I be considered still a leader, progressive, still dealing with Chi and Sandy if I took Andrew Yang's money? Probably not.
No. You're in a whole different
It'd be a side-eye. Like, why'd you take that money? So you gotta know when not to take the money. Very important.
Right. I was gonna say, a lot of people don't even get to the point that there's money to get.
I don't know about that life.
I bet you don't, but that's part of that
you
journey.
You can't have these without money.
I know, but that's part of the leap and that journey from, again, artist to that activist soapbox. Because there's a lot of artists out here that's not getting money.
I know,
either.
but, all right, so why do we hold artists to different standards than we hold a painter or a barbershop?
I don't.
No, I mean, seriously. Like,
I don't know.
Well, I mean, not you personally. It's like, do we tell someone who owns a barbershop they're not getting it back because they're not 7 cuts? What the fuck is it called again? Supreme cuts?
Supercuts?
Supercuts, thank you. I mean, Supercuts makes millions.
Way out the hood.
But Supercuts makes millions. We don't tell Rilo or Jonah, who own a barbershop in Gravesend or Bushwick, that they're not making it.
Yeah.
But we don't do that with artists. If you're not Jay-Z or on that route, if you're not Megadeth on that route, then all of a sudden you're not a good artist.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no room for middle class artists.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm dope. I've sold the Apollo out, but I ain't got no money. I got kids in college. I have bills. I have all that stuff, but I can support myself making an artist.
Mm-hmm.
That should be that should be successful as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because when someone owns a barbershop, we give them a lifetime award for owning a barbershop for 20 years. And the artist, we go, oh my God, you've been an artist for 20 years, go get a job. Bitch, this is my job. What
Mm-hmm.
you mean? This space right here, I had no idea existed. I'm going to tell Sandy Nurse, like, yo, you got to walk down here. It's a space that's doing good work. That's as important and vital as the restaurant down the street.
Absolutely. And they're super civics minded, and
I didn't know that. I should have known that. You guys should have been
podcast and all of that.
We should have been here.
That's why we're here.
Months ago, but now we're here now. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, she couldn't be here. But when I told her about it, she was like, "What hell space is this?" I lived down the street from there.
Yep.
She lived right down the block. Had no idea this was here.
Yeah.
But the barbershop, the grocery store get so much accolades for existing, while artists who are not rich and famous don't get the same love.
Yeah.
That can't work.
Yeah. Understood.
We're trying to change that now, though. That's one of the goals for this city council. Really, people I'm around anyway, to treat artists like small businesses on purpose.
100%. That's exactly what it is, and that's a lot of what is missing, just based on us being in the community and us having Remy and understanding, like, a lack of infrastructure just really keeps, like you mentioned, structure was what kind of helped you and got you out of it and into the realm that you're in. Like, there's a lot of infrastructure already in place that we circle, that we navigate, that we feed and feed off of all the time, that we might not even know about. So being able to present an opportunity to have that infrastructure in place sometimes is all someone might need, and obviously the information and the knowledge of that, being business minded and oriented, is potentially one of those caveats that does get you to make that leap of either being that full-time artist or being able to jump back and forth between the two, because there aren't a lot of activists that get paid to be activists either.
That's also, I mean, it goes again to if you're not the most famous activist, you're not running NAACP or CORE, then you're not treated as if you are successful.
Mm-hmm.
We're not creating pathways for middle class folks to be middle class, but yet we talk about the importance of middle class, but then we don't create these ways for you to be middle class, and then whatever the actual noun is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're an activist, there's a lot of money circulating, DYCD, SBS, EDC. Heck, we just created a bill to Farrell Lewis and Osei and a few other councilmen around a nonprofit small business services. That's going to actually be about for cultural awareness, cultural wellness, health, arts-driven programs that need the same support that a place like this place will need. Mm-hmm. Actually, this place will fall into both. It would be SBS and nonprofit SBS. Like creating those pathways and awareness. If you don't know the bill, don't know the cash is there, how do you get it? Mm-hmm. There's so many programs around rent, ERAP, for example. It's all the rage, but no one knew it was around. Mm-hmm. We dropped a promo during the pandemic, hit 40,000 people. They were like, what is this? We didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
But how do you know, then we complain and say, well, the programs are there, but it has $200 million in the program because no one's ever damn used the thing.
Mm-hmm. Is that by design?
No, I think, I don't want to say it's design. I think that government and businesses, no, I'll say with government. How can I say, I don't want to get in trouble because I am the government, right? How do I say this? I mean, I'm in it, so I can't act like I'm not.
No.
All right, I got it. There's a tendency for people who are in power to be driven by ego and expect you to come to them, mm-hmm. versus bringing the information to you. Mm-hmm. One of the things about Sandy, Chi, I would say Farah, even Carnegie, people don't like Carnegie, but Carnegie, Reynoso, Jennifer, a lot of cats who circumvent. Because right now, Bushwick, Crown Heights, and Bed-Stuy have like the second and third highest number of artists and creators in the whole city, probably in the whole world, outside maybe LA. But those sections like second and third. Mm-hmm. You're surrounded by a bunch of politicians who want to now figure out ways to bring you the information. Osae's been doing it through social media, saying they do it on the ground by door knocking. Carnegie, one of his biggest things was council on the go, chamber on the go, where an RV went to a neighborhood and said, all right, all small businesses come over here, cause you have me and you own the grocery store, and those three are only staff. When the hell can we go downtown and spend 4 hours to do paperwork?
Yeah.
So you miss out on money because there's no time, there's nowhere to do it. But we bringing stuff to you, you can do it. Osei brought the stuff to people they can where they were. She went door knocking to go here, take this, sign this, do this.
Yeah.
We have to be a little more a little less ego driven about I'm in the high table, and just bring the table down the street and go here. Everyone come to the table.
Yeah.
Let's figure this out. What do you need? And move the table down the next street. It just can't be I'm in power. Come visit me.
Yeah.
There's no way to do it.
Yeah. I have this idea of like as a communicator, which artists potentially fall under that title as well, but like as a communicator, it's our responsibility to figure out how to be understood, how to speak on the level of whoever you're speaking to,
right,
and articulate it in a way that they comprehend, because we can speak the dictionary all day, and if the person doesn't understand, we said nothing. So
but I would add to that, if you speak it and no one hears you speaking it, it's useless. It's
Absolutely.
the whole tree analogy. So we got to knock down the trees in the actual neighborhoods that need the wood.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's what I was going to mention, is that parallel of if you have it and that's that's cool, we on the same page. If you have it and the resources are to be distributed and given, but you're just waiting for that phone call or that paperwork to come in, excuse me, it's useless, and you're not doing the job, and you're a hindrance. You're actually getting in the way of the movement and the momentum that you are in service of.
Right.
So as the artist, as the activist, how do you marry your efforts and make sure you're not drowning out either of those two?
But I don't think you do, though. It's I mean, take art and activism off the table. Let's talk about anything. Any relationship you want to be in, at some point you got to communicate. If it's music, art, or the girl you want to talk to, or the business you want to start, if you're not willing to be communicative in a way that everyone comes to the table, better yet, when my last girlfriend and I broke up, I was saying to myself, new experiences require new experiences. Making sure I was open to figure out what I was in. But yeah, that's really cool. There's a basic grounding that I had to remember. I got to communicate, period. So communication will mean, as you said, being clear to the group you want to talk to. We both said bringing that communication to the person. So if you're an artist or activist, motherfucker, you got to communicate clearly as best you can. And you also got to come to where the person is, or figure out how to put that in their time stream in life, be it TV, be it on social media, or just, hey, you, come here, look at this. So you have to be willing to do both those things.
It's the accountability and that responsibility.
Right.
Yeah. You mentioned a bill that you were working on.
It's law now.
Nice.
Councilman Farrell Louis was working on a bill called, it's a nonprofit bill that's built like SBS, Small Business Services, to support emerging and small nonprofits. So a bunch of folks supported her. Osei had us support her in her efforts. I think Rita Joseph supported her. People, am I lying about that one? I don't remember. But a few people came and got behind her, and it passed. And it's a good gem. It hasn't been talked about a lot, but it's something that really is going to be great to have an agency that is looking out for a place like this, for a place like yours, that you can go to for funding, go to for opportunities, go to for help with the paperwork, go to help you get from your 501c paperwork down. Like this, we need those back in the same way a small business does.
Can we unpack the bill a bit?
I mean, basically that it's
the law now.
It's law now. It's it passed. It creates a dynamic. I think she's trying to sneak over and give you water without being seen. It's really funny. Thank you.
Thank.
I don't think, did I miss anything? look mad funny trying to hand this in off screen.
I don't know what's in my throat right now.
What did I cover? Forget that. It just gives backbone and logistics to small businesses who are nonprofits.
Backbone and logistics.
Yeah.
Got you. So.
And guidance.
Specifically to acquire funding and to receive funding,
Acquire
or just
funding,
business?
It's all the business structure.
Everything.
Yeah, aggregate. Same thing SBS does.
Okay.
Just a focus on the intricacies and nuances of
okay.
nonprofit.
All right. I'm going to ask you to take us to class real quick. Can you explain the process of getting a bill passed?
Oh, God.
And that's, yeah, I know it's long, so I'm asking you.
I'll be quick. One, you need an idea. Two, in city council here, you submit an LS form. The LS form goes to central staff. They make sure that it doesn't exist already, because laws go back to the 1800s in this place. They make sure it doesn't kind of fight with the actual charter. You try to get some people co-sponsor with you if you can. You come up with your outline, and central staff helps you actually make it look like law, all the jargon, the four whips, therefore, that people don't understand. It goes to committee if it gets lucky. From committee, if it passes through committee, it then goes to the largest body, and what they call stated. You get enough votes, you get signed up by the mayor, and then boom, you have a law. And hopefully there's resources to help the shit actually happen.
Yeah.
The other person.
And what part of that process are the people involved? Do the people have a say or potentially?
Trying to give me all kind of trouble.
I'm just trying to get some information because it's
so how we operate.
It's crucial.
How the folks I rock with operate.
Yes.
Like Chiosei or Sandy Nurse. We will try, and they will try to make sure they communicate what they call, say, someone says co-governance, or organizations who deal in those subjects, or with individuals who are expert in those subjects, to make sure that the people are heard. You hold forums, you hold workshops, you hold town halls, and you talk to the experts. You gotta talk to the experts. Like, I know a lot about hospitals, from ICPs to funding to why one Brooklyn's the way it is. But if I was gonna come up with some stuff, I'm gonna walk my behind down to Kingsbrook, to Interfaith, and ask questions. I'm gonna talk to the head of One Brooklyn. I'm gonna deal with the staff and find out, do you actually need this thing that's in my head? How do I make sure it happens? And they also get support. So when I go to other other senior advisors, other ledge directors, like, hey, here's what my guy wants. Here's what our community wants. Here's the leadership on this subject wants. So let's talk to your community leaders, to make sure we're all on the same page. And then go back to our possible principals and council members and get this shit passed.
Yeah.
It takes a little longer, but at least you know you're not embarrassing yourself.
A lot of people, just no one knows that. Like the process,
No, that's by design.
the involvement, yeah, that for real.
I believe I don't want to say that out loud. Let me phrase that. I believe it might possibly be by design.
That people don't know the process and what goes into what.
People love secrets. I've been saying it for so long. People love fake intrigue.
Fake intrigue.
Oh my God, motherfuckers love to create some new shit that I know that you don't know, so they can whisper behind your back. And like, guess we can't let them know how to do this. I'm saying, because only us 10 know. Bitch, why? The 11th person might know more than all of us. So people love fake intrigue.
Yeah, I always say, I like that you mentioned, like, is this idea even good and what you're looking for, or does it exist already? Like, I always say, I have so many ideas that they're not mine. They're mine to, like, give away. Like, speak them, offer them to somebody else, let them run with it, let them talk about it and mull over it.
Yesterday, I had what I thought was a dope idea yesterday. I called someone who I know is an expert on house lists and housing, and they were like, that is fucking dumb. I was like, thank you. I moved on. I'm not going to touch that.
Yeah.
They're like, but, wait, if we did it with people in shelters, it might work. I was like, I didn't know that. I know enough to help the homeless. I mean, I'm great on. I know my super strengths, but I can work on anything. But I'm gonna ask. It's okay to ask.
To that note, how much of the work is just asking those questions?
All of it.
All of it.
I mean, I think I'm probably really smarter than most people. It's not like, but that doesn't mean anything. Because being smart doesn't mean that you actually have the answer. It just means you process stuff a little faster. So, like my processing, also going, let me ask someone else who actually knows this subject, so that I can better process what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So I hate being wrong.
Mining that information.
Yo, man, I hate being wrong. To not be wrong, I gotta ask motherfuckers.
Yeah, if you ask and then get told the answer,
You don't know, you're not wrong anymore.
You can't be wrong. See? That's what I'm saying. That's 25 years in the game.
That's more like 50.
That's 50 in the game.
49, excuse me, not yet. Not 40.
Yeah.
49 people.
25 paid.
25 paid. Not paid enough. 25 paid.
Did you see, well, I guess I was going to ask if you saw yourself here before you got here, but you say you've been about this life since you...
Actually, it's funny, I told someone that I kind of knew where I would be. I thought I had more money, though. But other than that part, in terms of what I'm doing, I don't have a greedy gene. That's my problem.
Yeah.
Artists, get a greedy gene. What is that you said?
Get a greedy gene.
Yeah. But don't be afraid to ask for the money.
Greed. Green.
I mean, I don't mean for me, though. Like, you ask those two better than I do. They got the camera equipment. But we have to be not afraid. Even the guys behind the camera, not afraid to actually go for... I mean, I found sometimes I would take less to do community. I was like, wait a minute. I kept taking 7, not 4. And that extra $3,000 is the difference between comfortable and really comfortable. Doesn't mean you're not. Just having money does not mean you're not doing the work. We've been confused and believing that.
Yeah.
Now, get the money. Come in.
You gonna do me like that?
I'm saying. I told you I was gonna do that though. So.
That's okay. I did pay good money for this.
You can tell.
I get to wear it more than once.
Ain't no frayed size. Got
no, this
look
is
at this.
good. This is good fabric, good stitching, good trims.
That's some real West African Dutch Ankara right there, boy.
Works for it.
Not bad.
Yeah, but the reason why I've been so just intrigued by this transition to activism and like claiming that stance and that like role and position is because like as an artist, as a communicator of the times and writing and spoken word being my expression, I feel like give me a megaphone and I'm an activist. Not entirely, but contextually in the sense of the conversation that gets built up outside of myself.
All right, so what makes it activism? That's the question.
You said what makes it activism?
And you have to answer that now. That's what you have to figure out when you want to be an activist. What makes it activism and who am I helping?
Yeah.
So that's the question. And everyone should ask themselves that question when dealing with that. Because I've heard someone say, well, Michael Jordan ain't done nothing for black people. And I was like, well, there are about 100 new millionaires in America because of Michael Jordan. And most of them actually give back. So if he didn't make these millionaires, and he did it consciously, he knew what he was doing. He would force Nike to hire certain people.
Yeah.
Is that activism?
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah.
And is it like LeBron started a school? No. But when those kids graduate from school, they have to go work for somebody. And the millionaires that Jordan created have businesses, so who those kids gonna work for?
Yeah.
I've heard people talk about open society, about how, oh, that guy, he was kind of like the Jew and the Hebrew and stuff like that. But that man created paths for so many people to actually be artists, be about their personal activism or social activism, and have a way to eat. So I'm a rock with him.
Yeah.
And also he put money in my pocket. Thanks, man. But but I saw the worth in it. I don't take any job I don't believe in.
Yeah.
Which is where my problem.
Yeah.
I've said no to money that I don't. I have to like you, like the cars, and then I'm asking for the bag.
Yeah.
In that order. That's my rubric personally. but it's also
But
still
also like personally being somewhat of that space as well in that time
Right.
to be able to take that work. That's why I was mentioning of like I felt the side eye spiritually and physically when I said give me a megaphone, and it's activism. I mean in the way of contextually.
You felt me cringe over
I know
there?
a lot of people. That is the problem. That's a blanket statement. That's the problem with a lot of folks.
Well, and not just your generation. It's not, because I know you're thinking like you're saying young people. No, there's people.
I'm not saying- go
There's people
ahead.
I'm around who,
Yeah.
if you're watching this, put the megaphone down.
Yeah.
What? They can't beat me in a fight, so I'm not worried about it. But and we need less of that. Sometimes people need to be followers.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying contextually in terms of messaging and energy that's generated from the content and the context of it. It's activating, it's mobilizing, it moves folks. So that's what I was trying to be poetic with the
So if you think about it, all right, so
the imagery of megaphone and,
add on to
and
that.
all of that. But go ahead.
all right, so everyone has their own process in doing something, right? You can start a process with intentions. Let's use this space right here. It was wasn't it a cafe?
At one point, yeah.
Right.
It was always recording
Right.
studio, but
So it's probably evolved in something. And what the
sure.
intentions could have been this in the end, and then partly that, or that, and then something else. Or you build something, and then you realize what the intention are. Intentionality becomes by circumstance, by situation, by whatever. And then the third way is that you don't really actually know. Someone asked me the other day about dating. I give them 9 dope rules. And then the 10th one was, that shit don't fucking work.
yeah.
Throw it all out. And he's like, what the fuck is it? Yeah, it don't work. Because as you go into a situation, all these first 9 may not fit because something I have not experienced or thought of. So be open for what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So when dealing with an artist, I often say I make the art now and figure out where the fuck it's going to go later on. So sometimes I know, oh, this is going to go here. And then I do it. I'm like, oh, that's not what I planned. Oh, well. So now we're going to do W rather than A. So it's about being open for it.
Yeah.
So drop the art and then figure out. And if you have an intention, something you want to save or create,
Yeah.
rock with that. But it may morph into something else. Be conscious that it could.
Yeah. Be moved by it and allow it to kind of go where it's supposed to go.
Right? Like she's telling us to do right now.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to say, but you side-eyed me too hard with the megaphone for me to even say what I was trying to say.
Did I side-eye? Guys, did I side-eye?
You did.
Yes.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's a matter of that intentionality, like you mentioned, and what that momentum is that you create from that intentionality. Because it could be stagnant, and it's not. It's quite the opposite of active. So yeah, it's this matter in the sense of mobilizing and gathering and communing folks under a pretense of like movement.
But always remember though,
Yes.
it's fucked up part. It may not work. Alpha male theory was propagated by 2 white men, 2 dope white men. I love them actually. I got a chance to talk to them later in their lives. They realized that their studies were false, were fraudulent in a way because they were studying captive animals, captive chimpanzees, captive wolves, and that it's not the bully that is actually in control, but that leadership in the habitat of chimpanzees and wolves is by capacity. They've been trying for 20 years to tell people they were wrong, and no one's listening to them.
It's already law.
So in an attempt to rebuild and be active, and one of them, Dehog, did a really great TED talk that went viral. Still,
They want to just take it for
people
what it was.
people just want to keep where it is. Sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
It may not work. It's messed up, but
Yeah, keep passing that megaphone. That's how I'm gonna close this out.
touche.
Tai Allen.
Drop that money, son.
I thank you so much for your time, for your wisdom,
No doubt.
for your attention.
Drop that money so we can do more of these,
Yes.
and she can buy more dope frocks like this.
I need to get more of these in the bag. Thank you so much.
SLAPcollective, Remy Rouge, y'all.
Appreciate you.
You're hilarious.